Hi, I'm Julio.
And I'm the AI that will make this story even more unpredictable.
Here's how it works. I write the first 4 chapters full of mystery, clues, and twists.
And then I step in to write the final chapter.
But here's the challenge. Can you guess the ending the AI will create before it's revealed?
I doubt you can. My endings always have a hidden surprise.
So, join us. Hit the like button if you enjoy the idea and share in the comments how you think this story should end. Will your theory beat the AI's twist? The tape clicks off with a sound like bone breaking. I stand frozen in the kitchen of my brother's apartment, my breath visible in the cold air. That voice, Mike's voice, playing from a recorder surrounded by unpaid bills. They don't sell cars, Danny. They sell the empty seats. What the hell does that mean? I rewind and play it again. The static hiss fills the silent apartment for nearly a minute before Mike's hushed words emerge, followed by that terrible wrenching metal sound. My stomach tightens. 3 weeks since anyone's heard from him, and this is all he left behind. The light from the street lamp outside flickers, throwing unstable shadows across the too-neat apartment. Mike was never organized. This methodical tidiness feels wrong, like someone else's work. I run my fingers along the kitchen counter. No dust. Recently cleaned. When Detroit PD called me in Chicago, they said it was probably nothing. Your brother's an adult, Mr. Hayes. People take off all the time in this economy. But they don't empty their bank accounts first. They don't leave their car parked at a bus station. They don't disappear when they're about to blow the whistle on something at work. A car door slams outside. I move to the window, staying to the side of the frame. The black sedan I spotted earlier is still there, parked directly under the failing streetlight. Now a man leans against its hood, smoking. Even in the uneven light, I can see he's watching the apartment building. Watching for me? My phone feels heavy in my pocket. I should call the detective again, but what would I say? I found a cryptic message about car seats, and now there's a suspicious man outside? They'd laugh me back to my corporate law office in Chicago. A drawer in the kitchenette is slightly ajar. I pull it open. Empty except for a folded Detroit Free Press article. The headline reads, "Auto American breaks ground on new plant amid layoff concerns. Mike's employer." He'd circled a quote from CEO Richard Landon. "This facility represents our commitment to Detroit's future." Next to it, in Mike's tight handwriting, "Lies." The man outside tosses his cigarette, red embers tracing an arc to the wet pavement. He looks at his watch, then directly up at the window. I step back, heart hammering. Did he see me? My foot hits something solid, a loose floorboard. It shifts under my weight with a subtle creak. I kneel down, work my fingers into the edge, and lift. Inside the shallow space is a small key with a numbered plastic tag and what looks like a bus terminal logo. A sharp knock at the door makes me drop the board with a bang. I freeze, the key clutched in my palm, as 3 more deliberate knocks follow. I haven't told anyone I'm here. No one should know I've arrived in Detroit. "Mr. Hayes?" A woman's voice, unfamiliar. "I know you're in there. We need to talk about your brother, before they find you, too." I stand paralyzed, the key digging into my palm. The voice outside falls silent, waiting for my response. My eyes dart to the fire escape visible through the kitchen window. The man with the cigarette is now moving toward the building entrance. "I have information about what happened to Mike," the woman continues, her voice dropping to an urgent whisper. "Please, we don't have much time." I make a decision and move to the door, keeping the chain latched as I crack it open. The hallway light illuminates a slice of a face. Mid-30s, dark circles under alert eyes. Not a cop's face. Too nervous. "Who are you?" I demand. "Elaine Carver. I worked with your brother at Auto American." Her eyes flick toward the stairwell. "There's a man coming up, one of Landon's security team. We need to go, now." Heavy footsteps echo in the stairwell. I close the door, unhook the chain, and let her in, locking it behind her. She's wearing a factory worker's clothes, jeans, flannel shirt, work boots, but her hands are too smooth for assembly line work. "Back exit?" she asks, already moving toward the rear of the apartment. I pocket the key and grab the tape recorder. "Fire escape. What do you know about Mike?" She's out the window, sliding it open. The cold October air rushes in as footsteps reach my brother's floor. Not here. They're monitoring everything. We climb out onto the rusted metal landing. Below us, Detroit spreads out in a patchwork of lights and darkness, the abandoned factories looming like sleeping giants. We descend quickly, the metal groaning beneath our weight. "Your brother was investigating the new plant deal," Elaine says as we reach the bottom. "The city gave Auto American millions in tax breaks to build it, keep jobs in Detroit." I know that part. It was in the papers. What wasn't in the papers was that they never planned to staff it properly. They're automating almost everything. The jobs they promised, they don't exist. A door slams above us. I look up to see a silhouette at Mike's window. "This way." Elaine pulls me into an alley running behind the building. "Your brother found internal documents, projections showing they'd need less than a quarter of the workers they promised the city." We emerge onto a parallel street and walk quickly, heading away from the main road where the black sedan was parked. "That doesn't explain the cassette," I say. "Something about selling empty seats, not cars." Elaine stops abruptly. "He said that? Those exact words?" I nod. Damn it. She looks genuinely afraid now. It's worse than I thought. Mike must have found out about the secondary revenue stream. "What are you talking about?" A car engine growls to life nearby. Elaine grabs my arm, pulling me into the recessed doorway of a closed pawn shop. Auto American's new models have tracking systems built in. GPS, voice activation, the works. Marketing calls it Safe Track, peace of mind for families. But the system records everything. Conversations, locations, driving habits. That data gets packaged and sold. That's the big secret? Consumer data collection? It's more than that. Think about it. They know where you go, what you say in your car, how many people are in the vehicle, the empty seats. They're tracking occupancy patterns, selling that information to insurance companies, advertisers, even government agencies, without disclosure. The black sedan from earlier turns slowly onto our street, headlights sweeping the sidewalk. "How do you know all this?" I ask, suspicion finally catching up to my fear. "Because I'm not in manufacturing." Elaine's expression hardens. "I work in data analytics. I helped design the algorithms." The sedan slows as it approaches our position. "Then you're one of them. Why are you helping me?" "Because they killed your brother when he threatened to go public. And—" She stops, her eyes fixed on something over my shoulder. I turn to see a second car approaching from the opposite direction, boxing us in. This one's a dark SUV with tinted windows. "You need to get to locker 437, Elaine whispers urgently, pressing something into my hand. "A flash drive. Eastern Bus Terminal. That's what the key is for. Mike backed everything up." The sedan stops. A man in a dark suit steps out. "You set me up?" I hiss. "No, I—" Her denial is cut short as the SUV's back door opens. A distinguished, gray-haired man emerges, one I recognize from newspaper photos. Richard Landon, Auto American CEO. "Miss Carver," he calls, his voice pleasant, authoritative. "I'm disappointed. We had an agreement." Elaine's face goes blank, professional. She steps away from me. "Sir, I can explain." "I'm sure you can," Landon replies, then turns to me. "Mr. Hayes, I'm sorry about your brother. A terrible accident. Perhaps we should discuss it privately." "What accident?" My voice sounds hollow, even to myself. "No one told me he was dead." Landon's smile doesn't reach his eyes. "Oh, my mistake. Perhaps I'm confusing him with someone else." I look at Elaine, trying to read her face. Is she betraying me or playing a deeper game? Her eyes dart to my pocket where I've stashed the key and flash drive, then back to Landon. "Sir," she says smoothly, "Mr. Hayes was just telling me he found his brother's apartment empty. No sign of what might have happened." Landon studies me. "Is that so? Strange that you'd come all the way from Chicago based on so little." A police cruiser turns onto the street, light bar dark but unmistakable. It stops behind the SUV. "Ah, perfect timing," Landon says. "I took the liberty of reporting a break-in at your brother's apartment. For your safety, of course." The officer who steps out isn't in standard DPD uniform. His patches bear the logo of Detroit Municipal Security, the privatized police force that patrols the city's corporate zones. He rests his hand on his holstered weapon. "Mr. Hayes," the officer says, "I need you to come with me to answer some questions about your unauthorized entry to Auto-American employee housing." I look at the key in my hand, at Elaine's unreadable expression, at the powerful men surrounding us on this empty street. Whatever Mike discovered cost him his life. Now I have to choose. Fight or surrender, run or comply, trust or suspect. The officer reaches for his handcuffs. "There's been a misunderstanding, officer." The words come automatically, my courtroom voice taking over. "I'm Daniel Hayes, attorney at Brennan and McGill. I'm here legally to collect my missing brother's possessions." I reach slowly into my jacket, pulling out my bar card. The movement reveals my Chicago law firm's logo on my leather portfolio, the same firm that handled Auto-American's Midwest acquisitions last year. The officer hesitates, eyes flicking to Landon. "Sir?" He's seeking confirmation. "Let me see that." Landon steps forward, taking my credentials. His eyes narrow as he reads the firm name. "Brennan and McGill? You didn't mention your employer when we spoke on the phone." "We never spoke on the phone." He's fishing, but I play along. "You must be confusing me with someone else." I echo his earlier words, watching his reaction. A flicker of annoyance crosses his face before the corporate mask returns. Indeed, a simple mistake. He hands back my ID. "Officer, Mr. Hayes is free to go. Miss Carver and I have company business to discuss." The officer retreats. I glance at Elaine, whose face reveals nothing. "Mr. Hayes," Landon continues, "perhaps we could schedule a proper meeting. Tomorrow morning at my office, 9 o'clock. I'm sure we can help locate your brother." I know a command disguised as an invitation when I hear one. I'll be there. "Excellent." He passes me a business card. "Our security will escort you back to your hotel." "That's not necessary." I insist. Detroit can be dangerous at night, especially for outsiders. His smile is all teeth. 20 minutes later, I'm sitting in the back of a corporate SUV, watching the city pass by through tinted windows. The driver, a silent, broad-shouldered man with a security earpiece, hasn't spoken a word. I finger the flash drive and key in my pocket. Eastern Bus Terminal, locker 437. I need to get there, but I'm being watched. My thoughts race back to the last time I spoke to Mike, 3 weeks ago. "I've found something big, Danny, the kind of thing that makes careers or ends them." I dismissed it as my idealistic brother's typical exaggeration. Now I wonder if it was a warning. The SUV pulls up to the Renaissance Hotel downtown. "We'll pick you up at 8:30, sir," the driver finally speaks. Inside my room, I check for obvious surveillance before calling the Detroit detective assigned to Mike's case. Straight to voicemail. I leave a message asking for updates, careful to sound concerned but not alarmed. I shower quickly, letting the water run as I examine the flash drive. Standard issue, no markings. Too risky to check on my laptop now. I need a public terminal where I can't be tracked. A knock at my door freezes me mid-thought. I wrap a towel around my waist and approach cautiously. "Room service," a woman's voice calls. I didn't order anything. I peer through the peephole to see a hotel employee with a covered tray. "There must be a mistake," I call through the door. "I didn't order room service." "Compliments of Mr. Landon, sir. He thought you might be hungry after your journey." I open the door slightly, chain still latched. The server smiles professionally, but something about her seems familiar. The set of her eyes, maybe. "Thank you, but I'm not hungry," I say. "He was very insistent, sir." She pushes the cart forward slightly. "The chef prepared it specially. Michigan whitefish. Your brother's favorite, I believe." The mention of Mike sends a chill down my spine. How would Landon know that? "Leave it there. I'll take it in a moment." She nods and walks away. I wait until she's gone, then carefully bring the cart inside, examining it without touching the food. Under the silver dome is indeed whitefish, plated beautifully. Beside it, a napkin with writing. "Terminal bathroom, 20 minutes." I dress quickly in nondescript clothes, different from what I wore earlier. At the elevator, I press the button for the lobby, but get off at the parking garage level instead, taking the stairs down to the service entrance. Years of navigating Chicago's downtown for client meetings taught me how to disappear in an urban environment. The night air is cold as I flag down a taxi 3 blocks from the hotel. "Eastern Bus Terminal," I tell the driver, checking repeatedly for tails. The terminal is nearly empty this late, just a few passengers dozing on benches. I head straight for the men's room, pushing the door open cautiously. A maintenance worker mops the floor, cap pulled low. When the door swings shut, she looks up. It's the room service attendant, now in a different uniform. "You're taking a huge risk," I say. She pulls off the cap, revealing short cropped hair. "My name is Sarah Nowak. I really did work with your brother in the testing division at Auto American." "Why all the disguises? Why not approach me directly?" "Because Elaine Carver can't be trusted. She reports directly to Landon. She gave me this." I hold up the flash drive. "Said Mike backed everything up." Sarah's expression darkens. "That's not Mike's drive. It's probably loaded with tracking software. They want to see where you go, who you contact." I drop it like it's radioactive. "How do I know I can trust you?" "Mike and I were close. He talked about you. The hotshot lawyer who escaped Detroit. Said you were the smartest person he knew, but that you'd forgotten where you came from." The words sting with truth. "Look," she continues, "I don't have much time. The real data is in locker 437, but they know about it. Landon's people will be watching it." "Then what am I supposed to do?" "The key Mike left you. It's not for the bus terminal. It's for the Central Station lockers." "Central Station's been abandoned for years." "Exactly. The perfect place to hide something important." She hands me a folded paper. "These are the access instructions. The old baggage area still has the lockers. Number 437. I unfold the paper, a crude map with directions. What's on the real flash drive? More than just consumer tracking. The new Auto American models have military-grade systems integrated into their design. Mike found a contract with the Department of Defense. They're turning civilian vehicles into a nationwide surveillance network. Every car equipped with their SafeTrack system becomes a mobile listening post. That's illegal, unconstitutional. That's just the beginning. The empty seats, it's code for autonomous vehicle targeting systems. They're testing prototype military applications disguised as safety features. The cars can be remotely controlled. A toilet flushes in one of the stalls. We both freeze. "I have to go," Sarah whispers. "Don't go to that meeting tomorrow. It's a trap. Once they confirm you have Mike's evidence, you'll disappear too." The bathroom stall door opens, and a bleary-eyed trucker emerges, nodding at us as he washes his hands. When he leaves, Sarah grabs my arm. "One more thing. Mike isn't dead." "How do you know?" "Because I helped him disappear. But they caught up with him 3 days ago. They're holding him at the new plant facility, the one that isn't supposed to be operational yet." "Why would they keep him alive?" "Because the system doesn't work without his biometric authorization. He built in fail-safes they can't crack. They need him alive until they can bypass his security protocols." The bathroom door swings open again. A security guard in Auto American uniform stands in the doorway. "Sir, this area is being closed for maintenance," he announces, hand resting near his holster. His eyes narrow as he spots Sarah in her disguise. "Time's up," she whispers. "Run." The security guard lunges for Sarah. I react instinctively, shoving the mop bucket between them. Dirty water splashes across the floor, sending the guard sliding. Sarah bolts for the emergency exit, alarm blaring as she disappears into the night. "Stop right there," the guard shouts at me, regaining his balance. I don't. I sprint in the opposite direction from Sarah, back into the terminal, heart hammering against my ribs. The few remaining passengers look up in confusion as I race past. Behind me, the guard's radio crackles with codes. The main entrance is ahead, but 2 more security personnel are rushing in, wearing the same Auto-American patches. I veer left, down a corridor marked Authorized Personnel Only. My phone buzzes in my pocket, unknown caller. I answer without breaking stride. "The parking garage," Sarah's voice, breathless. "Level B2, blue Honda Civic, keys under the front wheel well." The line goes dead as I push through a service door, finding myself in a loading dock area. A startled janitor drops his cigarette as I rush past him toward the parking structure. My law career flashes before my eyes as I run, breaking and entering, theft, evading security. Even if Mike is right about everything, I'm destroying my life with each step. But the image of my brother, idealistic, stubborn Mike, being held against his will, propels me forward. The parking garage is dimly lit and smells of exhaust. I descend to B2, scanning the rows until I spot the blue Civic. The magnetic key holder is exactly where Sarah said it would be. As I slide behind the wheel, headlights sweep the entrance ramp. I duck down, watching through the window as an Auto-American security vehicle cruises slowly through the level, searchlight probing between cars. I start the Honda, keeping the lights off, and ease toward the exit ramp on the opposite side. The security vehicle stops, and a guard steps out, speaking into his radio. I can't hear him, but his alert posture tells me they know I'm here. Michigan Central Station looms over Detroit's Corktown district like a decaying cathedral, its 18-story tower dark against the night sky. Once the tallest train station in the world, it's now a hulking ghost, windows broken, graffiti claiming its lower walls. I park 2 blocks away and approach on foot, Sarah's map clutched in my hand. The chain-link fence surrounding the property has been cut in multiple places. Urban explorers and the homeless have made sure of that. I slip through one such opening, the rusty wire catching on my jacket. Inside, moonlight streams through the shattered windows of the grand hall, illuminating debris-strewn marble floors. The space echoes with emptiness and lost grandeur. This was Detroit's heart once, before the riots, before the auto industry collapsed, before the city became a symbol of American decline. I follow Sarah's map through the cavernous waiting room, past decaying ticket counters, toward what was once the baggage claim area. My phone's flashlight casts long shadows as I pick my way through fallen ceiling tiles and discarded needles. The locker room is surprisingly intact, rows of metal doors with numbered tags still visible. I move quickly to 437, inserting the key with shaking hands. It turns smoothly as if recently oiled. Inside is a weathered manila envelope. I open it to find a flash drive, an employee ID badge with Mike's photo, and a handwritten note. "Danny, if you're reading this, I'm in trouble. Everything is on the drive. Trust no one connected to AA, especially not Elaine or Landon. The real factory is underground." A noise from the main hall. Footsteps, multiple sets. I pocket everything and duck behind a collapsed column, killing my light. Flashlight beams dance across the walls, accompanied by radio static. "Hayes couldn't have gotten here this fast," a gruff voice says. "Spread out and secure the locker first." I recognize the voice, the security guard from the bus terminal. They knew about the locker all along. Sarah led me into a trap. I ease backwards, looking for an exit route. My foot connects with a loose tile, skittering across the floor. The flashlights swing in my direction. There, behind the column. I run, deeper into the station's labyrinth of abandoned offices and service corridors. The footsteps follow, gaining ground. I turn randomly, disoriented in the darkness, until I find myself in what must have been a mail sorting room, with no visible exit besides the door I entered through. Trapped. I press myself into a shadowed corner, desperately scanning for options. A rusted metal desk sits against one wall. I dive beneath it just as flashlight beams cut through the doorway. "Check every corner," the lead guard orders. "He has to be in here." I hold my breath as boots move methodically through the room. A flashlight sweeps inches from my hiding place. Then a voice in the hallway calls out, "Sir, we've got a problem." Someone's accessing the SafeTrack network. Unauthorized remote activation. What? That's impossible without Hayes' brother. It's coming from the test facility. Carver's badge was just used at the south entrance. The boots move away hurriedly. "Secure this building. I want 2 men on every exit. The rest with me to the plant, now." Their footsteps recede, but I stay frozen in place, mind racing. Elaine's involved again, but whose side is she on? And why is Sarah setting me up? I wait 10 agonizing minutes before crawling out. The station seems deserted now, but I move cautiously, retracing my steps to the grand hall. Outside, distant sirens wail. I make my way back to the Honda, constantly checking for followers. I need to view the flash drive contents, but where? Hotel's not safe. My old law firm has an office downtown, but they might look for me there. I drive aimlessly, checking the rearview mirror every few seconds, until I spot a 24-hour internet cafe in a strip mall. At 1 a.m., it's nearly empty. Just a clerk half asleep at the counter and a couple of teenagers playing online games. I rent a computer in the back corner, positioning myself to see both the entrance and the emergency exit. The flash drive connects with a soft click. Inside is a single encrypted file. I try several passwords. Mike's birthday, our childhood street address, our mother's maiden name. Nothing works. Then I remember. They don't sell cars, Danny. They sell the empty seats. I type, "empty seats." The file unlocks, revealing a folder structure organized with Mike's characteristic precision. Technical specifications, internal memos, financial projections, and videos. Dozens of them, labeled by date. I click on the most recent, dated 3 days ago. The screen fills with footage from what looks like a high-tech factory floor. Nothing like the abandoned industrial spaces I associate with Detroit. Robots assemble complex components, while white-coated technicians monitor displays. The camera pans, revealing a row of sleek vehicles on an assembly line. They look like standard auto-American sedans, but with subtle differences. Thicker A-pillars, reinforced undercarriages, unusual sensor arrays on the roof. Then the view shifts to a testing chamber. A sedan sits in the center of a circular room. A technician speaks into a microphone. SafeTrack System Test, Phase 3, Remote Override Protocol. The car starts without anyone inside it. It moves precisely through an obstacle course, stopping, accelerating, turning with inhuman precision. Another video shows a different test. The same model car, but this time with crash test dummies in the passenger seats. The vehicle drives normally until a command is given. Suddenly, all doors lock, the windows go opaque. The car accelerates to maximum speed and collides with a concrete barrier. My blood runs cold as I realize what I'm seeing. Not just surveillance, remote control. Not just tracking, targeting. The empty seats aren't just being monitored, they're being weaponized. A final video plays automatically. Mike appears on screen, looking haggard, speaking urgently into the camera. "Danny, if you're watching this, I couldn't stop them. The DoD contract is worth billions. Military-grade hardware disguised as civilian safety features. Every car becomes a potential unmanned vehicle, controllable from anywhere. The surveillance capability is just a bonus. I built a failsafe, but they're close to cracking it. The prototype facility is under the old Riverworks plant. The entrance is... The video cuts off abruptly. I sit back, stunned. Mike wasn't investigating corporate fraud or privacy violations. He'd uncovered a classified military program hidden inside consumer vehicles, with his own company at the center of it. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. They found the locker. Your hotel is compromised. Meet me at Riverworks East loading dock in 30 men. Bring the drive. Another text arrives immediately after. Don't trust Sarah. She works for Landon. Coming to you now. Stay where you are. As I look up from my phone, a black sedan pulls into the parking lot. Through the cafe window, I see Elaine Carver step out. Simultaneously, the back door of the cafe opens and Sarah Nowak slips in, her eyes locking with mine across the room. Both women have lied to me. Both claim the other works for Landon. One of them might lead me to Mike, or to my death. I have seconds to decide who, if anyone, I can trust.
My heart pounds as I sit in the cafe, the tension between the two women hanging heavy in the air. I take a deep breath, weighing my options. Outside, Elaine is scanning the cafe, looking for me. I don't want to make a move just yet, not until I know more. Sarah's eyes dart to the entrance as Elaine steps inside, her posture tense. I can feel the air crackling around us, a standoff brewing. I need to act, but how? I can't let them both corner me. I stand, clutching the flash drive in my pocket like a lifeline. I head for the bathroom, keeping my eyes on both women. The clatter of the cafe seems muted, the world narrowing down to this moment. I slip inside and lock the door, my mind racing. What if Sarah is right? What if Elaine is a plant, a trap set by Landon? But what if Sarah is pulling me into danger too? I can't afford to trust either one. I need to find Mike. Suddenly, a loud bang reverberates through the cafe. I freeze. My heart races as I peer through the crack in the bathroom door. Elaine's face is pale, her eyes wide as she backs away from a group of men entering the cafe. Auto-American security uniforms unmistakable. I push the door open a crack and whisper, "Sarah, we need to go." No response. I open the door wider, but the bathroom is empty. Panic rises, but I shove it down. I have to think. I slip out into the main area, scanning for both women. The cafe has erupted into chaos. Customers are scrambling, chairs scraping against the floor. I spot Elaine crouched behind a table, her eyes darting around, while the Auto-American guards are moving methodically, searching for something or someone. I glance around, looking for an exit. The back door might be my best bet. I level my gaze on it and start to edge toward the exit, but before I can reach it, I hear a voice call my name. "Danny!" I turn to see Sarah emerging from the kitchen area, her expression frantic.
"We have to go now!" I don't hesitate. I sprint toward her, dodging tables and patrons who are too caught up in their own panic to notice me. I reach Sarah just as a guard spots us, his eyes narrowing. "Stop right there!" We bolt out the back door, into the alley. The cool air slams into me, adrenaline surging. I can hear the sounds of chaos behind us, shouts and the clatter of footsteps. "Where to?" I ask, breathless. "Follow me." Sarah grabs my arm, pulling me down a narrow passageway behind the cafe, away from the main street. "Did you tell them about the drive?" I ask, my voice low but urgent. "No, I swear, but we need to move. I have a plan." We weave through the back streets, the city around us looming like a dark, twisted maze. I can still hear the distant shouts of the guards, but they seem to fade as we reach a quieter area. Sarah finally stops, leaning against a brick wall, trying to catch her breath. "We can't stay out here long. They'll be looking for us." "What's the plan?" I ask, keeping my voice steady despite my racing heart. "There's a safe house nearby, a friend of mine. He can help us, but we need to get there without being seen." "Is it secure?" I can't help but feel a surge of doubt. Yes, trust me, he's been in this game longer than either of us. If we can make it there, we can regroup. I nod, but the unease lingers. What about the flash drive? We need to get the information to the right people. Sarah's expression hardens. We will, but right now we need to get off the streets. Just then, the sound of a car engine cuts through the alley, and my stomach drops. Run, I shout, pulling her along as we sprint away from the sound. We turn corners, ducking into shadows as the engine grows louder. I can hear the tires screeching against the pavement, and I instinctively tighten my grip on the flash drive. Finally, we reach a nondescript door tucked between two buildings. Sarah knocks quickly, and a moment later it swings open, revealing a man in his 40s, grizzled and wary. "Get in," he hisses, pulling us inside. The room is dimly lit, cluttered with old furniture and boxes. "What's going on?" he demands, locking the door behind us. "Auto American is on to us," I say, my voice hoarse. "They know about the drive." "Landon?" "Yeah," I reply, my breath still heavy from running. "He's got men everywhere." "Then we don't have much time." He motions for us to follow him into a back room filled with computer equipment. "We'll need to analyze that drive immediately." Sarah hands it over, her expression serious. "There's more at stake than we thought." The man connects the flash drive to a computer, running a series of scans. My heart races as I wait, the seconds stretching into an eternity. "What did you find?" I ask, trying to keep my voice steady. He looks up, eyebrows furrowing. "This isn't just consumer data. It's a whole network. Military contracts, surveillance protocols. They're weaponizing the SafeTrack system." My stomach twists. Weaponizing? How? Every vehicle with that system can be remotely controlled. They're developing a fleet of autonomous vehicles for military use, disguised as civilian cars. The implications hit me like a freight train. Mike was right. He's not just dead. They're using him. "What do you mean?" Sarah asks, her eyes wide. "He built fail-safes into the system. Without him, they can't activate the full capabilities." The man nods, his expression grave. "We need to find him. If they have him, they'll do anything to keep him quiet." "Where would they be holding him?" I ask, desperation creeping into my voice. "Probably at the Riverworks facility. It's the only place that makes sense." My mind races, piecing together everything I've learned. "That's where the prototype tests are happening." "Yes, but it's heavily guarded," he warns. "We can't just walk in there." "We have to try." I can feel the determination surging within me. "We can't leave him there." "All right," the man says, pulling out a map. "We'll need to plan this carefully. If they're onto you, we have to be smart about it." We gather around the table, laying out our plan. The tension in the room thickens as we strategize, but a sense of purpose drives me forward. I won't let Mike down. Not again. As we finalize our approach, I can't shake the feeling that time is running out. I glance at Sarah, who meets my gaze with a determination of her own. Whatever lies ahead, we're in this together. "Let's do this," I say, my voice steady. We gather what we need, steeling ourselves for the confrontation that awaits. As we step out into the night, the shadows of the city feel less daunting. This time, we're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for Mike. And I won't stop until I bring him home.